Hello, I'm going to tell you today how to replace valve seals on your engine. Now, to simplify matters, I've removed the head and I'm working on a bench situation here. But ordinarily on a vehicle, you would remove the rocker covers, the rocker arms, the push rods, so you can get down to the valve area. I've already done that. This is a head that's been removed off of a 4-liter Ford engine. To begin the process, you're going to have it stripped down this far, and one of the first things you're going to have to do is pressurize the cylinder with air. In order to do that, you'll have to put a hose in there, which I've done with a compression gauge. I removed the Schrader valve in the end of it, which would be inside here, so that you can put cylinder pressure or air pressure into the cylinder to hold the valves up inside the head. What you do then is you connect a air compressor to that line, and just to save noise, I'm just showing this as a demonstration. So once you've connected this together, air pressure inside the cylinder is going to hold the valve up inside the head. At this point, you're going to small hammer and tap on the top of the valve spring retainer like that. And what that does is it shocks loose the keepers from the valve spring retainer, so that when you put the valve spring tool on here, I'm going to demonstrate that for you here. Okay, got the tool on there, if you can see that. What this is going to do is clamp down on the spring, and I'm going to be able to release the spring from the valve by removing the keepers off of there. Now, I might eat my words on this one, but we're going to tighten it up and see what happens. If this was still in the engine, the valve would be held up tight in the head as I compress that. You see how it's got a little bit of play in there? Okay. If this was in the head, that would be tight inside there, and I would probably hit that with the palm of my hand like this, and it would shock that loose on the top there. So I'm going to have to hold this up with my hand, give it a whack like that, comes loose. You come inside here with the magnet, and you pick up the keepers and remove them from inside there. Make sure you use a magnet so that you don't lose the keeper down inside there. A tip would be to stuff rags around the valve area and around this side so your keepers can't get down inside the engine. You have a big problem if that happens. Move both of the keepers. Move both of the keepers. Okay, there's the other one. We got two keepers that hold that on. Then you can remove the valve spring assembly from there. Okay, now we're down to the valve seal. And some valve seals are installed different than others. Some of them can be quite tight on there. Usually you can take a screwdriver and just pop them off, or a pair of pliers, or a vice grip, or something like that, where you can just kind of give them a turn and they pop off. Now, to install a new valve seal, depending on what kind of a kit you get, you may get a valve seal installer tool. And what this does is it slips over the top of the valve stem like that, and that guides your new seal into place. Push it down over the valve guide. You'll kind of feel it snap in there. You know you got it installed when you feel it snap in. Okay, then bring your spring back over here. Pick up your keeper and make sure you put the narrow side down. Install it with the keeper in there. There's one in. And if you have trouble getting to it on one side, you can just kind of push that around to the back side, and you'll know if it's down in there far enough. And you get the second one, install it in there with the narrow side down. Doesn't always go perfect the first time, and that's something that you'll get used to. So you may not get it the first time, you have to go back and try again. There, and it just kind of popped in there. Alright, and you kind of have to look and make sure that it fell into the grooves in there, because if you start taking this back off and it's not in the grooves, you may have it come apart. If it comes apart, you got a big problem. You can look at the other valves and see if it's about the same location as those. This one looks similar to those, so I'm going to go ahead and take this back off there. Okay, last thing I do is I tap it to make sure everything's kind of seated in place, and you're done. Move on to the next one. So you do it, boom, boom, take this hose out, put it in the next spark plug hole, change both seals, put it in the next spark plug hole, and change both seals. Now it's recommended that you put the piston on top dead center before you start the process.